Hi, I'm Abby Higginbotham.
And I'm Darius Stewart. Welcome to another episode of RU News. We are here to bring you the news from around campus and Kansas City every Tuesday.
We start our show today discussing the vaping epidemic. In recent months, vaping-related illnesses have been on the rise in the United States, and public health officials have begun to issue warnings to consumers. Henry Gambler has more on the story.
I'm Henry Gamber with RU News. Recent vape-related deaths, including one in Kansas City, have left many confused about what was marketed as a healthy alternative to smoking. We talked to School of Biological Sciences professor Dr. Karen Turla and freshman Josie Campanella to get their perspective on this emerging issue.
Well, the biggest thing with vaping and smoking in general is if you think about the anatomy of the lungs, right? The goal or the job of the lungs is to really allow us to extract oxygen from the atmosphere, load that oxygen into our blood so that the cells of our body have it. And the cell needs this oxygen to make energy. When we inhale, the anatomy of the respiratory tract is designed to clear all debris and impurities out of the air so that what reaches those really delicate alveoli is pristine and clean and pure so that we can have a really good gas exchange. So what's happening with vaping is, right, you're bringing in this humidified air full of all kinds of toxic chemicals that is creating an inflammatory response in the airways and destroying those delicate surfaces so that you don't have efficient gas exchange. And it seems to be doing it at a really rapid rate that, we're having young people who haven't been vaping for just a few years starting to have these illnesses associated with vaping.
I think that whenever you're in school, it's a very big thing to vape because whenever you're little, you don't really everyone wants a piece of candy, so then you're like, oh my God, let's get a piece of candy, and you just kind of go with it. I think kids really attract to that sort of thing because we've always been taught that sweets are fun or fruit is good, and then all of a sudden it's turning into this horrible thing and we're just kind of going for it.
With the controversy surrounding vaping, it's incredibly important that we hear out every side of this issue to make sure that we all stay healthy. I'm Henry Gamber, and this is RU News.
The Student Government Association, which oversees student organizations on campus, is considering making changes to their constitution. These changes include the creation of a new position, the Speaker of the Senate, as well as the introduction of Senate committees. The executive branch has also added 2 new positions, the Chief of Staff and a Press Secretary, and is planning to create a Supreme Court. For more information on this development, we turn to SGA President Justice Horn.
What we want to do at SGA is give a lot more roles to better advance the student experience. So what we see is that we have a good 15 to 20 different campus-wide committees, and they've usually been filled by SGA senators. But what we see is with this constitution change, the senators are going to be a lot more busy and they're going to be taking on bigger roles. So what we want to do is allow more opportunities for first-year students, second-year students, transfer students, and especially diverse students to come into SGA. So this is allowing them to better serve on SGA, and what we see is when we create new positions in SGA, they get filled automatically. So there's obviously a demand for it. So we're going to keep continuing opportunities in SGA for students to be a part of it because we think with more students is better representation, everyone has a seat at the table, and that's something we truly believe. I think it's a good opportunity because we're putting trust in students that wouldn't have had the opportunity, and it's allowing them to get into positions and get that experience. So what we're seeing as a development of that is that students are really catching on to it and they love being in that position. And we think it's a good opportunity for students to basically get into that program.
The bill is still being deliberated over, but is expected to pass in the near future.
UMKC's National Alliance on Mental Illness Club, or NAMI for short, shined a spotlight on suicide prevention this last Friday. NAMI, in partnership with the organization To Write Love on Her Arms, set up an information table in the student union to raise awareness for suicide prevention, provided resources for students, and asked them to think about how they can make today better. Jody Fortino is bringing more on the story.
Hi, I'm Joey Fortino here with RU News. Today we talked to NAMI President Aniva Jefferson to talk about National Suicide Awareness Month.
We always try to do some sort of tabling event to either pass out resources or just connect people to things on campus that will allow them to seek mental health services and just spread the word about National Suicide Prevention Week. I think a lot of people don't search for resources themselves if they're really needing them. So tabling like this will allow those people who don't feel like they need to look for them themselves but are considering it, takes out that one extra step of like, oh, where do I go? And so we provide that for them.
NAMI members tabled in the student union to offer resources and information for students on mental health. They encouraged students to participate by writing down how they were going to make their day better. NAMI is open to all students. Look for them on root groups to sign up and receive information on their upcoming meetings and events. I'm Jody Fortino, and this is Rude News.
So if there already wasn't enough reason to go to Whole Foods, the recent addition of a Ruby Jean's Juicery inside will give you another. The health food restaurant and juicery was started by a local man, Chris Good, who named it in memory of his grandmother. His idea was to promote healthy food choices that still manage to be flavorful and enjoyable, which his grandmother struggled to find. So if you're looking for a way to be just a little bit healthier, Ruby Jean's is a great place to start. It is only a short walk from campus, and it's a whole lot tastier than that ramen packet that's been sitting in your dorm for about a month.
That's it for today. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Rude News. I'm Abby Higginbotham.
And I'm Darius Stewart. See you next Tuesday.